Welcome to QS Waves, your essential podcast for navigating the dynamic legal sector. I'm Damien Reid, your host, and today we're diving into the philosophy of quality solicitors, the QS way. Join us as we unravel the comprehensive suite of services offered by quality solicitors to empower law firms. Joining me today is Victoria Browning and Richard Skelly, who will be unpacking the history and ethos of quality solicitors, unveiling how the QS way isn't just a set of services, but a comprehensive approach to empowering law firms like yours to reach new heights of success. But before we focus our time on the QS way, I would first like to talk about the history of quality solicitors. Victoria, in your own words, walk us through the history of QS starting in 2009 right up to 2024.
Yes, thank you, Damien. So Quality Solicitors was founded, as you say, in 2009 with a vision to unite high street law firms under a nationally recognised brand, essentially safeguarding them against the threat of large retailers entering the legal sector. This vision led to a wave of rebranding within the network as firms embraced the Quality Solicitors name and ethos. However, the large retailers entering the legal sector, the threat didn't really materialise. So this unexpected turn of events prompted a shift in kind of the quality solicitors' focus. In about 2016, the company underwent a significant internal transformation in terms of the leadership, and some of the firms within the network chose to rebrand, shedding the quality solicitor's name, but remaining part of the network to benefit from its offerings. In the intervening period, quality solicitors continue to evolve, responding to the changing needs of our members. And in late 2022, we did a management buyout and marked a new chapter in the company's history. The buyout brought about another opportunity to affect some of the most substantial changes to quality solicitors in recent years, driven solely by the needs of the member firms. We've now got a network of over 40 firms. The new management team have listened attentively to the feedback from its members. We've introduced a range of services that have proven invaluable to the network, including recruitment, business development, employer branding, training, and a conveyancing panel service as well. Quality Solicitors is more than just a provider of leads and marketing services. Whilst they do remain a core part of the company's focus, the depth and breadth of its service offering has expanded. By being part of the network, firms gain access to preferential rates and services from industry suppliers, which would be difficult to obtain individually. They also benefit from industry-leading training, networking opportunities, and the wealth of knowledge and resources that Quality Solicitors offers to support their growth. So the Quality Solicitors journey from its inception in 2009 to its current iteration in 2024 is a testament to its adaptability and commitment to empowering high street law firms. As it continues to evolve, it remains dedicated to supporting its network of firms, in achieving goals and thriving in an ever-changing legal landscape.
Yeah, so Quality Solicitors has been around now for over 15 years, and obviously it's gone through a lot of changes. Richard, in your time with QS, are there any misconceptions that you come across when speaking with potential law firms?
Yeah, Damien, I think the most common one is that the firms think they have to rebrand as QS and, lose their name, identity, etc. And this is no longer the case. It was an original requirement when QS was first established, principally in order to create that uniforming umbrella brand for the membership, which was a key lever of defence against what was a threat at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, that was welcomed at the time, and it definitely served a purpose when faced with the potential competition of major retailers. But, times change, and the market has changed, and so has QS. So these days, it's no longer a condition of membership. In fact, the choice is completely up to the members if they wish to adopt it or not. Some retain the QS branding. They've been long-term members of QS, and it is part of their identity now. And yet others focus on their own brand, and we actively help them promote their brand in everything we do. So it's a matter of choice, really, but it's definitely not prescriptive, which I think is what a lot of people still maybe think it is. The other is cost. I mean, members are notoriously focused on their bottom line, as well they should be, and therefore coming on board and expending a cost which is difficult to prove, I guess, at the outset, is a big issue for the members. But I can honestly say we can assure new members that the benefits they obtain outstrip their membership fee in terms of the new business that's generated, the new opportunities, and frankly, just the cost savings from our suppliers that we've negotiated. We estimate, based on our existing sort of membership, that in the first year they should at least double from new income the cost that they expend. So we're pretty confident that membership to us is beneficial to all parties. And in fact, actually, for new members, we have introduced a first-year guarantee. So we will guarantee that they will at least double the cost of membership in that first year, subject to a couple of conditions. The first, of course, is that they follow our guidance.
Yes.
in the areas of a couple of operational, sort of key operational areas. But these are things that are practical, they're sensible, and they're beneficial. So we're very confident in our ability to improve the income streams of our member firms.
Lovely, thank you. Victoria, you were part of the management buyout in 2022. What did you have in mind for Quality Solicitors when this happened?
Yeah, so again, I wasn't part of the original Quality Solicitors when it was founded in 2009, but when I did the management buyout, I'd been a part of Quality Solicitors for about 6 years. And the ethos and the proposition of what Quality Solicitors was for our member firms still remained. Was the threat there for the large retailers entering the legal industry didn't quite happen. We still wanted to be there to support high street law firms in still competing, in their local market, still maybe against bigger corporates, and offering them a service that they could get at a lower cost, and with the expertise. And I think that was really important as well, that, we are marketing experts in the legal sector. And that's very different to just approaching, a general marketing business. So we wanted to kind of bring the focus back to that, redefine our own values and how those values help our law firms in the delivery of the services, but also, just how what we're doing they can adopt as well. Strengths, like I say, within our business, and the experience that we've got to utilise that better for the value of the firms, and just really redefine who we are, what we want to be known for, and share our knowledge and information. That's something that, we've been guilty of maybe holding on to, and we have a lot of years experience, track records. So we just wanted to go back out into the marketplace, say, Quality Solicitors is still here. We can still help you, and we still want to help you.
Lovely, thank you. Richard, you joined QS as the CEO just as we entered the last quarter of 2023. Congratulations, by the way. What was it about Quality Solicitors that persuaded you to join?
Cheers, Damien. Well, to be honest, it was a number of things. There's no one particular thing. I think QS has always had a great name within the space for providing sort of like quality support to its membership. But I think when I looked at the proposition that QS brings to an independent firm, and the changes that Toria and Paul have developed in that short period of ownership since the buyout, actually the proposition I found was completely compelling. For an independent high street law practice, giving them the ability to access the services delivered by established sector-focused professionals at the price and the quality level that's provided by the QS HO team, it's unique. And the access to key industry suppliers and the significantly lower rates that are charged on the back of that membership is something that really, the average high street firm just can't command themselves. And so the sheer size of the sector as well, and the opportunity for growth that exists for QS as an organisation, piling all those three things sort of together, it was, to be honest, too exciting an opportunity for me not to get involved. So I'm delighted to be here, and I'm delighted to see the progress that is actually being made, and the expansion of the proposition that we now have available to members, and yeah, it's great. And of course, Damien, there's the joy of working with you, and
of course,
and the rest of the team. So how could I not join?
Well, thank you very much. I think we've established that there's been a lot of changes, especially during the last sort of 12 months. So we're now here in 2024. Victoria, could you walk us through the concept of the QS Way and why this philosophy was created?
Yeah, of course. So the QS Way, as you say, is a philosophy. It's based on 4 core pillars, being people, process and procedures, power of many, and profile. Essentially, it's a comprehensive solution that can empower law firms to achieve sustainable growth, enhance operational efficiencies, foster collaboration, and elevate the reputational brand, I guess, of a law firm. The 4 pillars were created to encompass what we do and make it clear, identify the principal benefits, follow the QS Way, and this is how quality solicitors can help you to grow, to be sustainable, to be relevant, and also, there was a sense of also compliance, reducing risk within high street law firms. And whilst, we have some of those services directly from Quality Solicitors head office over the years, we've built some amazing relationships with some of our partnered suppliers who also can offer these services to our firms to make sure that they are the best of the best.
Yeah. Lovely. Thank you. That kind of leads me into you, Richard. Why is the QS Way important?
Okay, so I think it's important for us initially, to be honest with you. We have evolved the range of services that we now provide quite significantly. Each of them individually very important, and they play a role. We wanted to develop a framework, if you like, that would make it easy for people to understand and to summarize what we can provide and how we can help our members grow and develop a sustainable business together. So it's not rocket science. It is, as Toria said, it's a philosophy that calls upon established models of best practice, and we've coupled it with the tools and the services that we have at our disposal, just to help firms understand and gain the skills and services that they need really to survive and thrive in in what remains one of the most competitive sectors there is. It's probably appropriate that we maybe go through in a bit more detail each of those components, because, as I say, we were surprised ourselves, I think, about how much there is to deliver. And so it made sense, as I say, to, if you like, provide a roadmap as to what QS actually is. In a nutshell.
Yes, yeah, Richard, you're quite right. It does make sense to go through the components that make up the QS way. They are people, process and procedures, power of many, and profile. Richard, if you could continue, could you walk us through the people component?
Yeah, sure, no problem. So, I mean, it goes without saying that, within Select Legal Services, the biggest asset and cost that a business has is its people, and therefore people within your business play an absolutely crucial role in the success of any law firm. By acknowledging their value and the contributions, you will elevate their performance, and everybody wants to operate within a culture that puts the client at the center of everything they do, enhancing the loyalty to them as well as the loyalty of your employees. So the people select component encompasses within it everything that we feel is key for law firms to be alive to and take a focus on. So, employee engagement, for example, is a service that allows a firm to focus on its workforce, to ensure that what you have is a motivated and committed workforce by a range of meaningful interactions and involvement with them. So it links to processes as well, but basically it's a case of one of the biggest repeated costs is losing employees, i.e. losing what you've got, and roughly 20%, as we heard from the podcast with Chris, 20% nationally of a workforce in a business tends to leave annually. So the cost of replacing that is one thing. One of the reasons they go, there can be numerous reasons, but one might be they're just actually not happy. They're not happy with the culture. They're not happy with the way they're looked at. Their the fact that maybe their careers are not sort of like being supported. They're good pieces of work and not proactively recognised. So getting employees and getting engaged with your employees is a certain thing. Employee branding and getting them to understand what your firm stands for, what its kind of ethos is and culture, and for them to buy into that. Obviously that's led by the top, from the top, but nevertheless showcasing your company's values and culture to your employees is really important as well. So all these things, people management and development, some of them are really simple, but they're difficult to do on a sustained basis. So providing sort of the means to do that, the means to monitor your staff, and the basis of proactively managing them is key. And so under that people banner, we have stuff like the recruitment. So we have our recruitment service, Evolve, which we provide at a sub-market rate, below market rate, I should say. Quite a significant one, up to about 10% below what the normal rate is. So I mean, it's a brilliant service, and it's significantly priced to make it attractive. But the people that operate it, we work with them, are professionals and are knowledgeable about the space. So that's a great one. Training. We have developed the QS Academy in conjunction with some partners. So we have Armstrong Watson doing sort of like Pathway to Partnership, but making sort of people understand the financial aspects of being a partner, what to look out for in running a practice. We have the Grow Group as part of that fantastic sort of outfit that are, top tier. We have negotiated with them a range of training modules. Again, significant savings, but those guys do train the top tier firms. So bringing that and access to that to the high street firms is in my view incredible. And then of course there's the range of support and employee benefits that we can bring to bear, and one of our partners in that regard is Peninsula, who provide active HR support and scalable support as well. So from a sort of 20 employee sized firm up to sort of thousands, to be honest with you. Although we don't have any firm that employs thousands within our books. But if we ever did, then we can help them. So the people piece is very important, because it is the primary asset and the primary cost that the firms have within their operations.
Lovely, thank you. We'll move on to the next component, which is process and procedures. Victoria, could you explain what this component is all about?
Yeah, of course. So I guess process and procedures really is at the heart of the QS way. It's a commitment to meticulously crafted processes and procedures that are the bedrock upon which we build a sustainable and successful high street law firm. Each aspect of a firm's operations is carefully considered and structured to ensure efficiency, consistency, and of course, the main element, compliance. We have a very good partner in Teal Compliance, who offer a range of different compliance services for our member firms. And some of those, in fact, are also included in the membership, which is the Ask Teal helpline. But, the processes and procedures element ensure that a firm is being efficient, being compliant, and reducing the risk. And I spoke about risk earlier, and that's a really key part of our messaging, I guess. We've got all of these things in place to the benefit of our member firms, but all of them should help to reduce any type of risk within the firm as well.
Yeah. Lovely. You mentioned the Teal service. What was the Teal service that you mentioned?
Yeah, so we partner with Teal Compliance. They offer a range of different services. They've got a range of different kind of tech support that they can offer as well. But as part of the QS membership, as a standard, we have Ask Teal helpline, which is a helpline that our partner firms can use to contact and ask any compliance related questions, and kind of get a quick response to any of those. But again, also Richard didn't mention it in the people, but we also have compliance training through Teal Compliance as well. So that just finalises our elements of the QS Academy at the moment.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. Richard, the power of many is the next component on our list. What is it, and what are the benefits?
Right. So, it is basically the ability for us to harness through the sheer number of members that we have, the purchasing power of those members when we're talking to suppliers, and being able to negotiate on behalf of our members, significant discount for the various services, products, etc. that our membership is looking to secure. So it is that we are we're like a legal Costco in some ways, but it's more than just actual services. We also use our presence to get access to people that are knowledgeable about certain topics. So we do the thought leadership piece. We tap into a pool of expertise that's possibly not immediately available to the firms directly. We look at what's occurring within the marketplace, and are able to sort of like provide guidance and commentary on the back of that. We research an awful lot, so we use our resources and data to make and help firms make decision-making sort of transactions based on what we're seeing as emerging trends and best practice. So it's basically utilizing all our resources and our networks and our purchasing power to actually give information, expertise, and discounts and services because of actually how many firms we have with us and the size and scale of the business.
Fantastic, thank you. I suppose a firm could potentially maybe get one of the same preferred rates that we do on maybe one of our supplier network suppliers, but we have so many and they all have got preferential rates. It would be very difficult, maybe even impossible, for one firm to be able to equal what we could do with just that element of the power of many.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the other sort of great benefit is frankly the fact that the firms themselves can network together. Now, we're trying to improve on the sheer number of opportunities for that to occur. Clearly with COVID, that was a little bit difficult at times, but we went online. But we do have plans for more of those kind of events, and our conference. We do an annual conference, and really this year is going to be, I think, a bit special. We're going to elevate the nature of that. We're talking to the member firms, asking what they want to see and what they want that to look like. And so again, the opportunity to network with like-minded businesses, to learn from each other and understand sort of like the problems and the solutions that they face is very powerful. One of the things, again, we're looking at the moment is maybe putting together a non-exec network. So it'll be a panel of individuals who have a spread of skills and experiences, which firms can call upon and maybe take on board as non-execs for their businesses, so that they've got access to this expertise that they may not be able to access in any other way. So things like that are important. They help the business practically, and they provide a unique sort of opportunity for people to leverage off each other's experiences and skills.
Lovely, thank you. The final component is profile. Victoria, could you explain this for our listeners?
Yes, so I guess profile really is the first element of what Quality Solicitors was. It's about the firm's brand, how they can stand out in their local market, how they can stand out and unlock new opportunities, new clients. But what we've really done now as part of the QS Way is drill down into the elements of how they can do that and who their audience is in their efforts to do that as well. So, all of our Quality Solicitors firms have a Quality Solicitors website, or they have their own standalone website that we manage on their behalf. We've got digital specialists who conduct their search engine optimization, do reports, continue to optimize their website. And, they can also do pay-per-click ads in terms of just elevating that a little bit. But it kind of goes beyond that now. You can't just rely on the visitors to your website to get your leads or, your new clients. So, we look at review management. Well, we offer review management. We look at kind of the review landscape and see, are firms collecting the reviews? They actually have to get client feedback anyway, but a lot of this remains still paper-based, and it's about how can we move from being paper-based to being digital, because people are searching online now for law firms, and so you have to take that step to get those reviews out there for people to decide if they want to use you or not. And while some firms may see that it's a bit of a risk, because you're always going to have people leave negative reviews, the problem is, the law firm next door are updating their review profiles, and so people are going to use them because they've got feedback and they can see what sort of services and how they deal with those services. So we offer a review management, and we partner with solicitor.info. All of our partner firms get a free profile on solicitor.info to use, and that's the starter. So we can also look at their Google reviews, reviews on Yale, and just help them to manage those, how they deal with any negatives, but how they also build that resilience to get the good reviews. That will weigh out any negative reviews that people, if they're disgruntled, are always going to leave. So the profile element is more than now just a website. Like I say, it's about their online presence, so reviews, employer branding as well. Richard mentioned it or touched on it when we were talking about people, and employer branding and employee experience. So it's about how do you attract, as a firm, new talent, and that's about, again, your own people basically giving their own reviews as well online, so people can kind of see what the culture of your business is about. And then there's a B2B element as well, enhancing your firm's industry presence, so other peers can look at your firm, and QS can help with that, strategically can help with all of the enhancements of a firm's profile.
That's right. You were talking about there's a number of things you mentioned there, but the review management side, we did a survey internally at QS head office last year, where we surveyed nearly 1,000 people who visited QS.com to find out the behaviour about how they found a law firm or a solicitor. And interestingly, it was almost 80% looked online. So when you mention that review management, that is imperative that firms get on top of managing that. And you also mentioned that we could focus on various different platforms. And we're having, if firms can focus on getting more reviews onto these platforms, then it builds up that reinforcement, that robustness of having a positive, 3+ stars on whatever platform. So if someone does have that negative experience, it doesn't have that huge effect on their overall score.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, reviews and review management isn't a new topic for QS. We've been talking to our firms about this probably for the past 4 or 5 years. We could see early that this was going to be a part of what was expected, I guess, of law firms. And, sometimes some of the ideas or solutions that QS bring are maybe more forward thinking than some law firms want to be. But, we have our ear to the ground. We can see things that are coming. And this is kind of the role that Quality Solicitors plays to a law firm, that they're allowed to continue to do what they do, and that is to service their clients and provide legal advice. And that's what they should be doing. For Quality Solicitors, we're looking at technology that's coming, in as a whole, changes maybe in the sector, and we spend our time, having these conversations, checking these things out, seeing if we think, it will become relevant to our law firms, and starting the cycle of those early, to make our firms stand out and to be able to be in a position to compete. So yeah, reviews, it hasn't been something that has just sprung out in the last year or so. It is something that we've been talking about for many years, and we're seeing more and more signs that kind of is the way now that it has to go. So our firms adapted this really early on. You can see on their review profiles, across their whole review profiles actually, not just on a specific review platform, that they are building that resilience. They have that resilience there. They've collected a number of reviews that's going to give them that enhanced profile online, whereas other firms may be behind, and they've only just started to do that, and that's absolutely fine. At least they're starting to do that, and I think maybe some of the concerns of firms are, well, they haven't got time to monitor reviews or respond to reviews, and the responses to reviews, particularly to negative reviews, are just as important as gaining those positive reviews. So that's again the support services that we offer at Quality Solicitors Head Office, that we can monitor these for you, respond to them for you, advise you of what your ratings are looking like.
Lovely, yeah, thank you. I'm going to ask you another question. I'm going to play devil's advocate because I already know the answer, but just going on something that Richard said earlier about the misconceptions of franchising and rebranding. You mentioned that firms can have a presence on QS.com. Does that mean they have to ditch their own website?
No. So QualitySolicitors.com has over 1 million visitors a year. Essentially, one of the functions of that website is to signpost them to our member firms. So we have to continue the customer client journey on the website to an end point of getting to a firm. If they come onto our website and search for a firm in their location and we haven't got a firm that comes up, close enough to what the client wants, then the likeliness is they're going to leave and go and find somewhere else. So whether the firm is branded or not branded, they do need to have that end point on our website that just has their office location, has the services that they provide, so that the client makes contact rather than leaves the website. We can offer, full QualitySolicitors.com websites to new members and existing members, or we can take over, for example, if they already have a website, we can take over the management of that website and in fact the hosting of that website as well, should they require that. But we can take over the management of that website. So, we can start to look at optimizing their pages, make sure that the website's compliant, make sure the relevant information's on there. We know what we're looking for. We've worked on hundreds of law firms' websites, so we know what we're looking for, we know what works. So yeah, the answer is no, they don't have to have a full website and ditch their existing website, but we can certainly help to improve any website that they have, but they will need to have some type of presence on QualitySolicitors.com.
Lovely, thank you. Right, thank you, Victoria and Richard. Thank you very much, and thank you to our listeners who are joining us on this episode of QS Waves. We trust you found our explanation of the QS Wave both informative and empowering for your firm's growth journey. Stay tuned for future episodes where we will continue to provide insights into the strategies that shape the legal landscape, helping your firm thrive in an ever-evolving industry. Your feedback is invaluable to us, so please don't hesitate to share your thoughts on today's discussion. And until next time, thank you for listening and take care.